All right, I'm at 5818 Springfield Farm Lane. Mr. and Mrs. Orndorff wished that we came to do an inspection. We're first doing an exterior inspection and then an interior inspection due to weather-related damages, mostly wind. Apparently there was a wind shear that came through the area. Parts of this area wooded, but then you have whole fields where wind can really pick and get momentum. All these areas I marked are areas that are most likely caused from the damage because, as you can see towards the front, this gazebo that is now here in the front was there on the back deck. So the damages I'm going to present are impact damages as well as damages from the wind shear, because there is some wind damage up here as well. I'm going to present both, and I just condensed all the damages into one. There is hail damage up here, but I am not focusing on the hail damage that is up here as well. So I'm going to get on the inside.
Careful, because there's bricks sitting holding that down.
Yeah. So I'm going to start off with saying the back slope has over 35 impact damage shingles. It could be as little as scuffs to as big as full impacts. But either way, it is not natural wear and tear. These are things that happen due to that gazebo being tossed over the ridge. As you can see, a whole tarp is over the ridge. I haven't even counted what's underneath there. But this is part of the damage. This is most likely from the bottom of the leg that has the lip. It probably caught onto here, pulled up, and damaged that shingle. And you can actually see where the shingle is damaged all the way down and across. This is all a large scuff. That is permanent damage to the shingle already. Same thing with right here. Right here, you can see one that's completely obliterated, but you can also see all the scuff marks. These areas where it's taken out the granules, there's impacts. Even if it's at the bottom of the shingle, this is unnatural wear. This is not considered natural wear and tear. So that is damage to the shingle. Keep on going around. See areas again, like at the bottom, where it's scuffed, some impact marks. Right here, these are areas that over time the sun will bleach the tar. This is most likely the area where it first went up and across. I believe that the gazebo came up and kind of made a turn to the left and then a turn to the right, which explains the pattern that the scuff is actually directionally. The scuff directionally goes up and left, and then when it goes over, it impacts part of the left gable and then hits the right gable. So here's an area where you can see obvious scuff marking right here. Then we go over here, obvious lower shingle wind damage. This is just where literally it came through and flopped it up. Same thing right here, but you also have scuff marks as well all the way down. As I said, there is previous.
6 metal posts.
Yeah, 6 whole metal posts came up. You can see the previous. Oh yeah, you can see where the gutter is completely dented in right here. You see more scuff marks. You can see from previous hail some hail damage, but like I said, I'm not focused on that. I just wanted to point that out with transparency. As we go towards here, which is considered the right slope because it's the left on the back, but the right, well, actually it's left overall, so I got this wrong. So this is actually the left slope. Some wind damage from this wind shear. You can see where it actually picked up and creased right here as well. But it's one singular shingle, but lower shingle damage. These shingles are graded for 60 mile per hour winds. The wind that came through here was most likely, in order to pick that up, probably closer to 110, maybe 120. Creased these shingles right here, came down here, creased the edge right here. You can actually see where it's possibly tearing right here. So keep on going. I didn't really see any present damage over here except for the hail damage that's on the gutter guards. Keep going. This is where, when it hit the top caused it to move in some weird ways, and you can kind of see the direction some things went. A leg might have flown over there, but the rest of the body over here, and it scraped across the top while it took off a lot of the ridge cap and ridge vent. You can actually see where it took out a large portion of it. Here's some shingles laying there, and then there's shingles laying in there. On the front slope alone, I counted over 100 impacted shingles. These are shingles that are no longer keeping the integrity they once had before this event. So I wasn't even able to mark everything because it's just too much to mark. So even like examples like this, where you have scraping, and you can see like when that finger rubs against, the granules are loose. Scraping all the way down where I marked it. Big old impact damage right there. You can see with the leg, I actually came down and scraped all the way down. You can tell the leg grabbed part of this, impacted there and there. This slope over here, like I said, I got it mixed up. This is actually the right slope, the other slope was the left. Impact damage here, some scuffing involved right here, actually some scuffing right here as well. And then of course it tore this entire shingle right here. More scuffing, permanent damage all the way down. You can see this giant scuff. This will leak eventually. This is a whole area where you can see the asphalt is completely exposed now. This will bleach in the sun and cause leaks later on. That is permanent damage from this sudden loss. Same thing right here, same thing right here. Scrape goes all the way down. Same thing over here. You can see the scrape goes all the way down, all the way here. Some bottom wind damage. Again, it was a wind shear. This is literally when wind out of nowhere comes and absolutely jacks it up. You can see this is a weird form of wind damage on the shingle. I lift it, it's ripping right here and across. Same thing right here, a few impact marks right there. Some impact marks here. Like I said, I wasn't even able to catch anything. Took off part of the shingle, scrape. This one, I would consider this roof totaled due to just the sheer number. And I'm gonna get down off this ladder so I can present the other evidence. Like I said, this entire gazebo came right up, and I'm gonna show you where the legs are, because the legs did a majority of the scraping damage. You can see where it actually jacked up part of the gutter as well when it came over. There's of course some holes from some hail damage. I'm not calling those from this loss. That's probably from a previous storm that came through. But as I come down, as you can see, this is not for my ladder. My ladder is a little gorilla ladder. It's maybe 20, 25 pounds. It's not going to cause that. It looks like it probably impacted that downspout somehow when it came down. That downspouts completely obliterated on that one area. Check the other downspout. Check these just in case. Plastic railings. But you can see legs have bent. That means they were probably being thrown around on top. One probably went one direction, one went the other. Increased the surface area of damage because, as you can see, these things, they have these areas up here that can just latch onto the shingle and pull. This is not a light piece of equipment by any means. The wind that had to pick this up and throw it over the ridge had to have been 100 to 120 miles an hour. So, as I look at this, like I said, I would consider this, especially with the scope of loss, a totaled roof. I would request that State Farm please provide an estimate for a full replacement on a roof. That's just the sheer number. It's quite absurd. The condition of the shingles, slightly older. They are old, certaintied shingles. And with the age and everything of the roof, probably irreparable. My name is Ryan Willis, and I am done with this inspection.